Hello and welcome to Teach Me in 10. Today we're speaking to Dr. Irene Sarkar, who is a Scientist 3 in Field Applications from Thermo Fisher Scientific, to explore the growing role of analysis software in modern molecular testing workflows. We'll take a closer look at the Applied Biosystems AccuSeq real-time PCR detection software, including what's new in version 4.0 and how it supports biopharma organizations as they scale operations, expand across sites, and bring assays in-house. Hi, Irene. Thank you so much for being here to talk about the role analysis software plays in modern molecular testing workflows.
Hi, Laura. Thank you for the introduction and happy to be here.
So to kick things off, can you give a high-level overview of the Applied Biosystems AccuSeq real-time PCR detection software, especially version 4.0, and how it fits into biotherapy workflows?
Yes, of course. So the Applied Biosystems AccuSeq real-time PCR detection software is the software component of an integrated workflow for the Seq family of assays for analytical detection and quantification. These assays enable analytical testing for impurities and contaminants during the biopharmaceutical manufacturing process. For example, mycoplasma, MMV, and vesivirus detection, residual DNA quantitation, sterility testing, and so on. AccuSeq 4 is the latest version of the software and is designed to connect to the Applied Biosystems QuantStudio 5 and QuantStudio 7 Pro real-time PCR instruments. Once set up, it runs the assay in the instrument and does the analysis to generate the final report. So basically, it fully automates the data collection and analysis steps, thus serving as a very important and integral part of the biotherapy workflow. So this is how the software page looks like. On the top right, you can see who is signed in. So basically the user information. On the left, you have a blue panel with 5 tabs. So the first tab is the home page tab, of course. The second tab is the experiments list. The third tab is the templates list. The fourth tab is the instrument manager tab. And the fifth one is the database manager. And as you can see here on the right side in this blue box, you can also monitor the run, of course, when the run is actually happening. So you would see how much time is left for the run to finish, the instrument that is connected to the software, and also whether it's calibrated or not. So if you go into now each of the tabs, what will happen? So if you go into the experiments list tab on the left here, of course, you will see all the list of experiments, and you will also see a lot of details. For example, the status, the date of creation, created by who, and so on. Similarly, if you go to the templates list here, you will see a list of all the available templates. This includes the inbuilt or factory default templates and also includes the user-defined templates or the templates that you have made yourself. And again, there will be lots of details. For example, like the location, whether the template is published or not, published by who, and so on. In the instrument management page, you can see which instrument is connected to the software, and you can also see the calibration status of the instrument. In the new version, AccuSeq 4.0, you can also use this tab to connect an instrument manually yourself. And finally, in the database management or database manager page, you can archive or purge your experiments and also restore your experiments manually. Now, if you go back to the main page here, on the top, you see the list of open experiments, the recent experiments. So basically, it's a shortcut. And also at the bottom here, you have 3 options or basically shortcuts again. So here you can access the factory default or admin defined templates. You can also access your own created templates from here. And you can also create a new template if you want to for your experiment. So the main features of the software include dedicated templates, automated presence-absence runs and calculations, and also it enables 21 CFR Part 11 compliance.
Lovely. Thank you for showing us that webpage. Now, I was wondering if you could explain in a bit more detail the key features of the software.
Yes. As I said, this software can be used for multiple assays. So it is provided with dedicated factory default or inbuilt templates for the different Seq experiments. So you can just click on the template that you want from the software and use it. The cycling conditions, all the rules and call settings are fed into the software so that the user basically does not have to do anything. Once you start the run, the software will run your experiment, collect and analyze the data, and give you a final CGMP compliant report in PDF form. So this is the first great feature of AccuSeek, as I just mentioned. Now, to follow this up with, for qualitative assays like the MycoSeq and MycoSeq Plus, it gives automated presence-absence calls. And for quantitative assays like the ResDNA-seq assay, it gives all the relevant calculations. This is fully automated with minimal user involvement required. This ensures consistency in runs, no errors during setup, and as the software does all the calculations, the user does not have to worry about data integrity. And finally, one of the best features of our software is that it has assay capabilities. This means security, audit, and e-signature features that enable 21 CFR Part 11 compliance.
Sounds great. And I was wondering, what operational gaps does the AccuSeek software address?
So all the things that I just mentioned to you now are the ways in which AccuSeek fills up a lot of operational gaps. For example, some common challenges faced by users include fragmented software systems, inconsistent data formats, manual interpretation steps, and limited traceability. So AccuSeek 4 addresses all those gaps by providing a consistent analysis framework across multiple assays, reducing manual steps, and strengthening built-in data integrity and traceability features.
Perfect. And now let's talk about compliance expectations. How does the AccuSeek software support that?
Yes, so that's a great question. So when we talk about compliance, it is actually around the 21 CFR Part 11 compliance and data integrity. So AccuSeek uses SAE features, as I just said, namely security, audit, and e-signature features that enable this compliance. So essentially what it does is it connects to an SAE administrator console that provides the AccuSeek software with these capabilities or functionalities. This is one of the very unique features of our software. One thing to remember here is that this console can be only accessed by the administrator and not by anyone else.
Lovely. And the platform also incorporates SAE attributes, but what does that really mean for users?
Exactly. So in the SA console, you can find the following features. And again, only the admin or administrator has the rights to access these features. So the first point is S for system security. This requires users to log in into the software. So the administrator can set up password requirements like complexity of password, expiry frequency of password, and so on based on your organization's requirements. And this feature also determines the different user roles, for example, analyst, scientist, administrator, and their access to different features. So essentially, the administrator gives permissions to the different users. So an user may or may not have permission to perform certain functions or actions. For example, an analyst may or may not have the permission to delete an experiment. Second is A for auditing. So audits are, of course, very important, especially for our GMP customers. Audits involving experiments and templates are recorded in the AccuSeek software itself, but audits regarding global events like the instrument additions or database management are recorded in the SAE Administrator console. And third, E for e-signature. This enables users to provide an electronic signature after reviewing an experiment only if the signed-in user is approved to use this function or use this action. AccuSeek 4 gives the option between 1 and 10 e-signatures in line with your organization's requirements. Once again, for example, when 2 e-signatures are required, when the first e-signature is done, the experiment will be marked as partially signed, and when the second e-signature is done, the experiment will be marked as fully signed, and at this stage, it cannot be edited any longer. So this is what we essentially mean when we say that the AccuSeek software has SAE features.
Lovely, thank you. And as organisations grow, we often see new pressures emerge. When organisations start scale testing, whether that be through site expansion, bringing assays in house, or supporting multiple clients, where do things start to strain?
Yes, exactly. So when it comes to expansion or scaling up, what we do is we often talk about the assay itself, but the analysis is actually also equally important. As testing volume increases, so does the complexity of data management, traceability, and keeping the workflows and reports consistent across different assays and different teams. So this is easily handled by our single solution, the database-enabled AccuSeq software.
Lovely. And thinking about who benefits most from a platform like this, is there a specific organizational type or group that would use the AccuSeek software more?
So we can partner with various types of organizations, like we serve large biopharmas, mid-sized biotechs, CDMOs, and cell therapy developers. Their needs may differ, of course, based on their modalities, for example, mAbs versus vaccines versus cell and gene therapies, but the value remains essentially the same, which is we provide an end-to-end integrated solution for analytical testing that starts with sample preparation and ends with automated data analysis and reporting following GMP compliance and regulations.
Lovely. And finally, for organizations evaluating or considering analysis software, what should they be thinking about?
Yes, indeed. It is important to consider that we provide an integrated workflow from sample preparation to the seq kits, to the PCR instruments, and finally to an automated analysis and reporting software, which is the AccuSeq software that we are talking about today. So AccuSeq forms the endpoint of a single platform that can be used for multiple seq assays. So essentially, once you set up one assay, you can use the same platform to add on to your analytical testing solutions. It is also important to note that we are a one-stop or singles partner for different departments in your organizations. For example, like R&D, research and development, AD or analytical development, quality control and quality assurance departments, QC and QA, and IT departments. And finally, our entire workflow is built around GMP compliance and regulatory guidelines. So I think these are some of the key points that they need to take into account.
Yeah, perfect. Lovely. Thank you, Irene, for joining us today. It's been really great to hear your insights.
Thank you very much and happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of Teach Me in 10, brought to you by Thermo Fisher Scientific. To learn more about AccuSeek real-time PCR detection software and scalable molecular testing workflows, check out the links in the description. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Teach Me in 10 content. Bye for now.